Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I did not bring my camera holder with my camera. Anyway, I'm at Cheryl's. Anyway, I wanted to do this video for a while. I originally filmed it, but I'm having it re-recorded because I kind of messed up on it. Anyway, today's video, hold on. I'm basically talking about my guilty pleasure movies that I like watching, that every time I watch them, I'm just like this movie is like such guilty pleasure of mine. I mean, we all like have them. I have them, and so this is my list of them. So let me get into the video. Okay. So first, before I get into the video, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I'm trying to grow this channel. I've been doing YouTube for 3 years. I go on and off of me wanting to film and not film, and trying to be more consistent. Anyway, let's get into the video. So, these are my guilty pleasure movies. Number one is Cruel Intentions. It's this movie that came out in the 90s. Has Sarah Michelle Gellar, Reese Witherspoon, Ryan Phillippe in it. It has an awesome ass soundtrack, and it's basically the plot's like this: is stepbrother and stepsister. They what happens is, so the stepbrother makes a bet with the stepsister that he can deflower the headmaster's daughter at the private boarding school and stuff, and it's a good movie. I love it. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Like Sarah Michelle Gellar, this is like the only movie that I know her that she plays a bad girl, and she does a good job of it. And the soundtrack's fucking awesome. They also made a musical out of it, Cruel Intentions, which is on my list to go see one of these days. Okay, so that one, it's a pleasure, especially the ending with that song Bittersweet Sympathy. I guess that movie is definitely one of my guilty pleasures. Okay, number two is Wild Things, which is, it came out in the 90s. Neve Campbell, Denise Richards, and Kevin Bacon's in it, and I think the guy's name was Matt Dillon. So the plot of the movie is basically this. These two teenage girls, they are accusing their guidance counselor of raping them. And what happens is there's a cop that's investigating it all. And it's like, not everything is as it seems, basically. And I love it because it's a guilty pleasure. Yeah. And there's a lot of sex in it. Like, there was a threesome scene with Neve Campbell, Denise Richards, and Matt Dillon. And which I didn't know about until recently, which I found out, which I'm kind of bummed they put in there, was originally there was supposed to be a kiss scene with Matt Dillon and Kevin Bacon, but it got cut because they didn't want to do the scene. Which I was like, what the fuck? But then y'all kept in a lesbian scene with Denise Richards and Neve Campbell. Sorry guys, I'm multitasking. Hold the fuck on. Hold on guys. Just hold on. Hold on. Hold on. There's a damn fly that's been getting on my nerves, and I just saw it on the fucking floor. And so I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna get your ass, and that's exactly what the hell I just did. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. I like it. It's a crazy movie. Like, a lot of people don't know this, but I know this, but they made a lot of sequels out of it. Anyway, it's a guilty pleasure of mine because, because it's one of those movies you watch it and you're trying to figure it out, like, who is the mastermind behind everything. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Yeah. And also there's a scene of Kevin Bacon when you get to see his ass and his dick, which really excites me, and I'm just kind of bummed that they didn't put that gay scene with him and Matt Dillon in it, but it's what it is. Then, number three is The In Crowd. This movie came out in 2000, so it doesn't have anybody really famous any big stars in it that I know of, but it's basically so this girl Adrienne, she gets out of a mental institution, and her daughter gets her job working at a country club, and she becomes friends with this rich girl, and becomes friends with her and her crew, and they are these rich like teenage, they are these rich young people. Anyway, they're in college, and what ends up happening is she ends up basically what ends up happening is the queen bee that she becomes friends with, she kind of pisses her off, and it's very much like a Lifetime movie. It's a thriller, like there was murder, there's a there was like crazy drama, which I loved in it. Yeah, and then you know there was a couple of sex scenes that got cut down. Well, there was a sex scene that got cut down because the movie's PG-13. But the reason I love this movie and I feel like it's underrated is that I love the plot because then Adrienne, she finds out that the queen bee is not a good person. She finds out she has skeletons in her closet, and she's like she finds out that the queen bee is not really her friend, and she finds out some stuff, and then she has her eye on this guy that the queen bee has her eyes on too, and she finds out well, a little spoiler I'm gonna give you was the queen bee had a sister that disappeared. The sister looked exactly like Adrienne, literally. And there's a guy that the queen bee has the hots for, and he dated her sister. And so queen bee gets mad when Adrienne, hangs out with him, and they get into a little argument, and then it's all down from there. And there's like a final fight where both the girls get into fights because a crazy movie. I wish that they would make a sequel, or they would reboot it or something, or how they Lifetime can make it into a TV series because it's awesome. Yeah. And what's crazy is the girl that plays the queen bee, Brittany, she was in Wild Things too, literally. So it's interesting to see her, Yeah. Anyway, those are my three guilty pleasure movies. Don't judge me, okay? We all have them, but I own them, okay? And I know that there's gonna be a lot of people that are gonna be like, "Oh my God, Toby, really? Those movies are." Oh, hold on. I almost forgot one. I know what I was forgetting. The last one I'm gonna end the list with is Basic Instinct, which stars Sharon Stone, and you guys are probably seeing a pattern that all these movies came out in the '90s. Because '90s had a lot of good, awesome ass movies. Anyway, Sharon Stone's in it, and it's basically like, oh, Michael Douglas is in it, and so the plot's basically this. So, this, so what happens is guy, this guy gets killed, and he was sleeping with this author, and he got killed in a way that was described in her novel. And so Michael Douglas, he's this cop, and he's trying to investigate and figure out who the killer is, and he's questioning if she's a killer, blah blah blah. I like it because, I mean, it's a erotic thriller. Sharon Stone does a good job at playing the author. I love it because in the movie there was like a twist, there's a twist because it's one of those movies you watch it and you're like thinking, okay, so her character's not the bad guy, but then you see shit that goes down, which was in the movie, which is holy shit. I like it. What the hell? I have one more. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna end with this movie. Poison Ivy stars Drew Barrymore, and I like it because it's a rock thriller, just like with Basic Instinct. It's basically like Drew Barrymore plays this girl Ivy, and she ends up messing. Okay, so her best friend takes her best friend's family takes her in, and she ends up having her eyes on her best friend's dad, and I like it because it's a erotic thriller. It's crazy. I mean, there's a couple of crazy sex scenes. There's actually a sex scene that's something I want to do, which Drew Barrymore's character Ivy and her best friend's dad, they're having sex on the hood of a car while it's raining. That's my ideal sexual fantasy. I want to have sex on the hood of a car and it's raining. I'm like, I don't give a shit. But yeah, and then her best friend's mom's like dying. I mean, she's a mental illness and she's not doing good because of her health and all that shit. And I just like it because you never ever see movies of Drew Barrymore playing a villain. And that movie, I'm sorry guys, I bit my tongue. In that movie, she plays a villain. And and Sarah Gilbert's in it too, and she plays her best friend. But the girl's dad's hot in that movie. And I'm like, I don't blame you, Ivy. I'd be doing something to him. And like the movie, like Ivy wants to, she wants to take over. She wants to take her best friend's mom's place, basically. Yeah, which is crazy. Love you guys, and that's the end of the video. And peace.